We're all about the Archers. I'm Philippa.
And I'm Quentin.
And we're here to talk to you about what's happened so far this week, up to and including Tuesday, the 19th of December. Tonight we cover Harry Chilcott, good or bad.
Emma's mooning.
Triple chocolate cookies.
And Jacob cracks the whip.
So Quentin, my cue, what do you think of the week so far? What do you think of tonight's episode, Tuesday night's episode?
Well, I mean, the word that sums up this week so far is farce, isn't it? Or farcical. I mean, the whole week has been riddled with nonsense, which I've quite enjoyed, really. Why are you putting that face? It's been farce.
Because I thought you were going to say farce and you didn't like it, and I've loved this week. So then you ended up saying
you haven't given me the chance to say whether it's good or bad. I've simply put it in context. It's been farcical, but it's been fun. There's been fun and nonsense.
It has.
And I was really hoping that Emma had Moon's gym. I think that would have been fantastic. So we've had that. We've had Lederhosen, that nonsense to do with Lederhosen, and we've had the disaster of the first agriculture run through, which was farcical and great fun. And we have seen Jacob frankly emerge as the main act of agriculture, because he has been my complete fave this week so far.
Oh, yes, we have so much to talk about. But let's start off about tonight. Let's talk about Harry Chilcott, that phone call to Chris. I clapped my hands with glee. I thought, this is something to get for us to chew over, Q. Thoughts, observations? Come on, tell me.
Well, I wrote a note here saying trouble at mill, and it's one of those. He's either. I couldn't work out whether Harry knows who Chris is, or whether it's genuinely, inadvertently ringing up the local farrier. So, is Harry up to something to sort of embarrass Chris or lord it over him as the owner of a racehorse or two? Because he was booked as Mr. Chilcott, so Chris has no idea he's called Harry, so he didn't make 2 and 2, did he? There can't be that many farriers in the area called Chris. I've always thought Harry isn't as nice as you lot think he is, because you've all gone swooned over him. I think he's a bit of a cad. Why did he split up with Bryony? We've yet to find out. She mentioned her ex tonight. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting, that one. And I've got a hunch Harry knows who Chris is, and he deliberately didn't say, hi, this is Harry Chilcott. It's Mr. Chilcott. Yeah?
Absolutely. Nobody phones someone at 10:30 unless it's, a sheep in a field that needs a vet that minute. 10:30 p.m., no, that's not happening. He said he'd done some research about Chris on his website. I think he knows exactly who Chris is. We also heard Harry's scheming voice. I thought he was this sort of sounded chipper, more authoritative. And we could, to be nice, possibly he's just making sure that Alice and Chris are no more, that relationship is over. But no, I think there's more to it. There's scheming. Oh. And poor Chris has been lovely lately. He's heartbroken. He's realised actually he loves Alice. And I was wondering before tonight if he was going to admit to Alice that actually he was still in love with her, and that was going to be the story. But no, this is sinister and wonderful. I'm here for it.
Well, lest we forget what a horrible chap he was when he first arrived at the stables. He was horrible. So we had flashes of that again, didn't we, this evening, with his scheming voice?
To be fair, the horse he had financed had been impaled on a stick of wood because they'd let the horses cavort about while the fireworks were going off. So I understand why he wasn't extremely happy. But
we saw his nasty side. We saw his nasty side.
Yes, his firm
Harry Chilcott is not. Is what? His firm side. I bet you'd like to see his firm side. Harry Chilcott is not as nice as you all think he is. All right? You heard it here for the umpteenth time. I wish you'd listened. Philippa.
And tonight, of course, as you've mentioned, Emma's alleged mooning of Jim and reciting a limerick. I mean, that would be good at the Gagriculture show. You know, I think people would find that quite funny. But I love that.
Yeah.
I love George's opening line, you know, good morning, mother, as Emma was feeling slightly unwell, so unwell that Susan didn't even recognise Emma's voice on the telephone. But I just thought that was great.
Yes.
And the fact that she got comeuppance on George, so he's going to have to go and help Jim with his jobs.
Paint his shed, But the star of the week so far is Jakob, isn't it? I mean, he's just hilarious. I mean, I hope you remember a few weeks ago I said my prediction was that there will be a double act between Vince and Jakob. Vince would be the funny guy, Jakob would be the straight man. Jakob now, purely by mistake, is going to be the funniest man of the night, because if he compares this show, he's going to be another Ricky Gervais. Like, you know how Ricky Gervais was at the Globes? He insulted the entire audience as the compare. Jakob's going to do the same. He'll go down a storm. He's going to be hilarious. And, you know, how many people have stood up to Linda and said no, imposed a 3-minute limit. There will be a bell if you go over it. There will be a hooter if you're too dull or too rude. The man is a genius. He's going to be, brilliant. So, so it's a hooter, isn't it? If it's too dull or too rude, and a bell if you go over 3 minutes. And Usha's already dreaming of this dream man. She's not alone, because, somebody I know very well associated with this podcast has come up with this dream figure. I hope you can all see this. This is an AI-generated image of Jakob that's somebody by the name of Philippa has generated. And, what is going on? I have
to say, I'm sorry, Josh, you are no longer my number one. Jakob is the man for me, because not only does he like things in order and he's focused, but how he managed Linda and the fact that he's going to press his hooter when things are too rude. This is what I need for when you're saying things that are too rude. Q, I need a hooter to sound to stop you in your tracks.
Well, it'd be a permanent hoot, wouldn't it? I am a hoot on this, and we don't need your hooter, but I anticipate one. So, there you go. Jakob, star of the week so far, and he will be the star of the show. He will be doing a Ricky Gervais at the Golden Globes.
I do just need to mention, I know you'll be thrilled about this, the food. It's only brief. There wasn't much mentioned, but we've had triple chocolate cookies. Thank you very much. Chris made a start on the veg, and cherry cake today. Susan's cherry cake.
Is that the end of your fascinating list of food?
Yes, it is. It is. And if time is moving on, though, any other faves? Any other flops? Have we talked about flops?
So I obviously wasn't listening during your list, but you did mention the triple chocolate cookies, did you?
Yes, I did.
I put that down as a P fave. I mean, I'm surprised you haven't mentioned that as your fave.
Food's always
I even noted down some foods. I think you said cherry cake and muffin, didn't you? Did you mention muffin?
Cherry cake. I didn't hear muffin. When was muffin?
You mentioned the muffin.
What?
George offered his mum a muffin.
Yes, oh my goodness, I've failed. I apologise to everyone. Okay, any other faves quickly? Can I just say another of my faves was Emma having her first night out in about 20 years. And when she came home drunk, she, instead of being an awful drunk, she was a funny drunk. And when I listened to it a second time, I was laughing along. I thought it was brilliantly acted. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, she was. It was. And I love the way she got her comeuppance, or George got his comeuppance, because she turned it on him. I thought that was... And, a nice little reference to where do you think you get all your wits from? And that actually ties in with when we interviewed Emerald. She said, Emma isn't given the credit for being as bright as she is. And that was a little insight, wasn't it, to just the way she perceives the character. I like I mean, it was embarrassing, but I just thought it was funny, the whole Lederhosen scene with David putting his clodhoppers right in there. The unreconstructed farmer that he is, just ploughed in there, didn't he? Telling Stella that she has a really cracking pair of pins. Oh, bless him. And what surprised me about that is that Stella, she's a forceful woman, but she's a pushover, isn't she, in these things? She's, no, I'm not going to dance, I'm not going to wear lederhosen. And the next second, she's dancing and willing to put on some lederhosen. She's very biddable, really.
Well, she's just amenable. She's just, mucking in with the family, with the firm. But David didn't just say that Stella had got nice pins. I was listening and I actually had my hand over my mouth because what he was saying felt so awful to me. Stella's legs would grace any lederhosen we could possibly come up with. You've got splendid legs, and I'm not just saying that. I've noticed you've got a cracking pair of pins. I mean, that's not just saying the wrong odd word. That's a paragraph of cringe.
I didn't write all that down, but my word. And then Pip says, "Dad, have you been eyeing up Stella's legs?"
You can't say that and not have eyed up her legs. It's just...
No, he couldn't. He just kept digging, didn't he? And but he was trying to say it as a compliment. But it's in 2023, it probably jars a bit, but he was honest. He was honest. I was pleased to hear Chris back. I sort of missed him, actually. I put a little Chris exclamation mark here. So good to have him back, and he behaved impeccably, I thought. Chris, he really did.
He did. And Susan, when she found out that Alice was seeing someone else,
that was a nicely written scene. That was
ballistic, but she was lovely. Yeah. Also, I did wonder, did Linda put her name on every piece of paper that went into the bag to decide who went first?
Well, I was slightly disappointed because I thought there was going to be a fight between Linda and Stella as to who was going to be first. But Jacob wasn't having any of it. Good on him. Yes.
Brilliant. Absolutely
so that was funny.
The fact that Tone is going to do a comic monologue called Over the 5-Bar Gate in rhyming couplets. I mean, I need to hear that. I really do.
Spare us. And Sykesy, of course, they got to use him, haven't they? Because he's Jasper Carrot, but he's going to be rambling on with memories of an old farmhand. But he was shut down within about 3 seconds by Jacob, wasn't he?
Jacob knew him immediately where that was going. And Jim Lloyd doing funny bits from Under Greenwood Tree. I would like to see that as well. Yes. I think that'd be nice.
God. Banished Kate as she was too much of a distraction. He's not taking any nonsense from anybody. It's going to be, as Alan said, a complete disaster, but quite an hilarious one, I think.
Well, have you got any flops? Because we need to go to our predictions. We're almost out of time. You can give me one more flop if it's seconds long.
Well, in a way, my phase were the flops as well. I mean, I love the mooning idea. It was a flop that it didn't happen. I love the sort of awkwardness of the lederhosen. But that was a flop as well, wasn't it? Because it went so badly. Although they did laugh about it. I thought it was quite a bit of sauce this week. Bit of sauce, Usha having saucy dreams like you are about Jacob. And I loved the. I mean, I can see smut where it doesn't exist, as you know. And Jacob imposed his 3-minute time limit. And Linda said, "Well, I need at least 11 minutes for my anecdotes, 30 minutes including all the laughter." And he says, "You need to trim some time off your anecdotes." She says, "They're trimmed to the bone." For those of us who love a double entendre, it was classic double entendre moment. That so yes.
I don't. So get that.
Flops and flops. Yeah, don't worry.
Sure. There's a lovely chesty laugh there, Q. It is fair to say that you're under the weather, but still valiantly recording, aren't you?
I've still got a sense of humour.
Anyway, right.
Yeah. You are too pure. You're too pure, and you hang on to that. Us smutty lot. We'll see any innuendo we like in anything that's written.
I have no. What you're talking about? I think it's probably best, but
good. Good.
We're out of time. Hit me with your prediction, Q. What's your prediction?
My prediction is that Sykesy is going to tell a saucy anecdote about him and Jill from their early farming days at Agriculture, and it will be extremely embarrassing for everybody concerned. And I think he'll plough on despite hooters and bells from Jakob. Because he's implied a bit of, they had something going back in the day. So I think he'll find that irresistible. Sykesy will embarrass everybody, I think. Yours?
My goodness. Well, I think the Agriculture show will be a huge success. I think the next time we have an All About the Archers, it'll be Boxing Day. So we've got Christmas Day before then. So I think something big is going to happen with Rob, maybe his will, maybe Rob's brother or father will contact Helen. There's going to be something, I think.
But what about his funeral? Has he had his funeral?
We've not heard it. No. So there is all of that. So I think there's going to be some more upset along the way. Will we have Helen's Ghost of Christmas Past, Present and Future? Are they going to do that? But what's going to happen with Harry Chilcott? Yes, there's a lot. But this is it. We're out of time, Q. We have to go.
Are we?
We do very quickly need to mention, if you'd like to support us, you can go onto Patreon, type in All About the Archers Patreon, and we'll be there. We've got some very special live seasonal events planned for next year that we're looking forward to. Interviews will be back in the new year, and I'll be back on Boxing Day with Lauren for the next All About the Archers. So that's it from us for this week. It's a bye-bye from me.
And have a very happy Christmas from me.
Yes, Merry Christmas. Bye-bye, everyone.